Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video we are going to create a snowflake shaker card because I haven't made a shaker card in ages and because I just adore snowflakes. Who doesn't like some snowflakes? Particularly since we don't get snowflakes around here in Australia. Well, we do in Australia, but not where I am. Anyhow, my name is Tatiana. I'm from Tatiana Creative Stamping Adventure and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. I love to do videos and live videos here on Facebook because I love to share creativity, and I hope that I inspire someone to go out and just do something creative. You know you're watching live if you see the little red live. I primarily paper craft and I primarily make cards because you can easily make a card and send a card. It doesn't have to take too long and you can really change someone's day by sending them a card. So anyhow, let's head to the craft desk and get started. I've done some pre-cutting. I love snowflakes. Don't ask me why. I'm not an avid skier by any stretch of the imagination, but I do love snowflakes. And in the August to December mini catalog, we have this beautiful bundle. It's actually a suite, so it has designer series paper. I've got a sampling of it here. Quickly flick through, and it's called Snowflake Splendor. And I can't remember if this paper came in it, but there's also the balmy blue glimmer paper and some dies. That's so many snowflake dies, and what we're going to do is create a card, a shaker card. So I've got a pool party base. I've chosen this sheet of designer series paper because I really love the texture of I love both sides, but I really like this subtle kind of thing, and I thought that would be a really nice background for our shaker card because it's kind of giving some depth. So let's start assembling some bits because that way they're not on the table and getting in the way. So I've got a pool party card base which I've cut to be landscape with a top fold, and we're going to adhere our DSP, and that's going to create like a background in the window. There is something I didn't prep, and that would be the window sheet. Silly not to prep that, but there's time. So I've got that, and I've made it to have like a little bit of a pool party border. Then I've got another piece of pool party which is smaller than the DSP, but it will still fit our die. So this die creates like a little window. It's really cute. I've used it before, and it has a snowflake here, here, and here as part of in the window, if that makes sense. And before we're going to do anything to that, I wanted to make this paper shimmer. And I thought I'd share with you how I create that shimmer live so that you know how to do it. So I've got here, it's actually a medicine measuring cup, but I only keep it in my craft room, and a syringe. I've also got one of our spritzers. Morning, Megan and Susan. Oh, Kathy, sorry, I've said hello to Susan. No, Kathy has been missed. Okay, so I've got the spritzer. I have Frost White Glimmer paint. Now, we also have it in, what's it called? Champagne Mist. I've already got a Champagne Mist one here. Champagne is more clear and this one is more white because it's called Frost White. And I wanted to tone this paper down a bit, so that's why I'm using the Frost White. If you don't want to tone your paper down and change the color, I would highly recommend the Champagne Mist. And as you can see, I've kind of dedicated this spritzer with Champagne Mist. And I'll label this one as well. And we need some rubbing alcohol. I get this from Woolies, just in the, what is it, the medicine kind of section. So what I do is I just pour some of that in there. I'm not actually measuring it, it's just more of a tool to make it easier to get. Now I'm going to shake up my shimmer paint. And you don't need a lot. The more you put, the more shimmer there will be. So you can see it's poured down the side, and it's maybe half a centimetre worth. Let's see. Yeah, I've put only about half a centimetre worth of shimmer paint in there. Stay. Just going to close that up, and now I'm going to use the syringe to add the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol. So as I said, I'm not actually measuring it. It's more about just making it easier to get in. And I've got shimmer paint on my syringe now. Yeah, so I'm going to use up everything that I've got here. Try not to fill it all the way to the top, which I haven't. Mine is right there, because you want to be able to shake it and distribute the paint throughout the rubbing alcohol. Now, why to use rubbing alcohol versus water is because the rubbing alcohol will evaporate from the paper quicker than water will. That is why. Now, you can add more shimmer paint or less shimmer paint depending on how shimmery you would like it to be. I would highly recommend covering your surface. I probably should use more surface covering than I am, and at a distance, start spritzing. And the paper will curl, but can you see that shimmer? Yep, you can. It is instantly shimmery. And that is exactly what I want. So you can turn any of your cardstock or even designer series paper into shimmer paper with this method. Now it did curl, it is still wet, but it will dry and we will press it flat. So I'm going to put that to the side to dry because I want to dry it because it's good to let it dry. But yeah, so you can see even the grid paper is all shimmery now. I'm going to put that behind me, and I'm going to bring in this bit, and this is the inside. So let's do some stamping while we wait for that to dry. And what shall we do? Too many choices. We may stamp some snowflakes. How about ones that I haven't used before as well? Really like this one. So what do we think of snowflakes? Who loves them? Who hates them? You won't offend me. And I'm going to use Pool Party just to keep that theme going. Pool Party. Ink. And just bring in that grid paper again, because I want to stamp off the edge. You love them, Kathy? I don't know. There's something magical about snowflakes, if you ask me. I feel like we need another one, a smaller one. No. Oh, here's another one we could use. So today is the 16th. That means I've officially been sugar-free for 15 days and some hours. How exciting is that? So that's that one. And I want the sentiment as well. So I'm going to stamp that. And I wanted the Christmassy sentiment. There it is. Snowflake Wishes. Love this sentiment. It says, Snowflake Wishes. I should read it. For a Merry Christmas. And I'm grabbing a scrap piece of Whisper White. And I'm going to stamp Snowflake Wishes. Doesn't have to be even, because I'm going to fussy cut that. Cut off the side. Don't need my grid paper anymore. And I'm just bringing in my thing. you can see it's starting to decurl as it's drying as well, so that's really good to know. So I'm going to start by cutting the straight edge here. Cut that off. Fussy cutting around the letters. I really love this look. It's something special about it. I don't know what. Don't ask me what. And then we need to grab some window sheet because I forgot to prep that. There we go. Won't that look nice against the shimmery paper? And a window sheet. I thought it was all prepped. Where'd it go? Here is window sheets. Okay, do I have a piece that we could use? Where's that die? Put it down somewhere. Oh man. Honestly, wouldn't be me. There it is. Wouldn't be me if it was that. Will be perfect. White Christmases are so amazing. I've been fortunate to have, what, 2? No, 3. Woohoo! I've had 3 white Christmases and I've loved them. Just thinking, is that going to be, no, that should be okay. I'm indecisive. And as you can see, this is kind of drying nice and flat. Ever so slightly still damp. So what I'm going to do is take my heat tool just to kind of bring it a bit more. Don't recommend this, but I don't think you want to sit around waiting for paper to dry. So it'll just help dry it up. Perfect. So I was flipping the paper so that the drying process was happening on both sides and that it would be more flat. Bring in Bailey and we'll place our paper on the die cutting machine or onto Bailey, and then I'm going to just visually center that on there. I'm happy with that position. And because I'm using the magnetic cutting plate, I know that it will hold in place. Run that through. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. So this creates a window as well as some snowflakes, which I really adore. And so that will sit there and we'll get that background in. Let's adhere this piece down. Should have stamped the envelope while I was doing that other stamping. you know, think of it later, of course. And now, to make it a shaker card, we need to add some height and we need to add some embellishments. But the main thing is we need to cover this gap. So that's why I've got that window sheet. I'm just wondering, yeah, that window sheet is a little bit too small. Well, mind you, do you know what, it could work, simply because those gaps will not fit any, what do you call it, will not fit the sequence through. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus, say I'm using the plus. I'm going to go around the edges of our aperture, our hole here. And then I got some onto the edges there, which doesn't matter. All I have to do is fold it back so that it's not going to show up. Perfect. And place the window sheet. The main thing is that it covers that aperture. Fantastic. Now, which way do we want it to go? I liked it this way. Feels right this way. Okay, now I am going to take our foam adhesive strips, and first thing is I'm going to use them to line the edge. So what I do is just place, snip, and keep placing. I don't want the white of the foam showing through these little holes, so I'm making sure that I'm placing the foam around them. I'm snipping, and you want to make sure that they're butted up against each other, not any gaps, so that the sequins or whatever you decide to put into your shaker card doesn't fall out. And just take the next strip. They are thicker, so height wise I place, not that you're going to really see this, or maybe you will, they're almost twice the size of a dimensional. I'm not sure if you can see that in the video and if I'm even holding it to the right place. It is higher than a dimensional. Dimensionals you could use, but it just doesn't leave enough room height-wise to allow to shake. You want to be able to shake your shaker card, if that makes sense. And if you want that shaking element, you're better off using that. Just to, the height will allow for more shaking. And as you can see, that last piece, I just kind of pushed around and I placed around. So now that I've got that there, I also like to add the same strips, so not dimensionals, these same strips, to the edge of this piece. That's just to give it a bit more support once it goes on the card. And you can break them, so you don't have to use scissors. Because if I just kept what was on around our window, it would, the rest of the card, once it goes through the mail, would flop down. So this will support those edges. And I mean, I love shaker cards. It's been a while since I've made one. So these foam strips last ages. You get 2 sheets of these in the packet, and it says 40 strips, so you get 20 of these strips in a packet, but I also use the edge pieces, so it comes 40 strips with inside some edges, just like the dimensionals have those edge pieces. And use the edge pieces too. They're cut to the same width, but the width doesn't matter, it's all about the height, and they're the same height. And then you just replace what you didn't use back on. And there we have our prepped shaker card. And I have here very few, but it'll do. These are the snowflake sequins, and I'm going to add them to the middle of my card right there. And I'm going to take some of my adhesive back sequins and stick them down. Oop. Adhesive on the other side. Not the adhesive is back on the adhesive sheet. There we go. So by sticking some down, just seeing where they will stay permanently kind of afloat, and it just gives a nice little visual. Probably should have done that sticking before I put the bits on because they're kind of in the way. Let's swoosh these off for a second. Yeah. I want to add a few more stuff on. What did I put in the middle? Oh, I put in the snowflake sequins, which I've just taken off and I will replace back in. And these ones, oops, the adhesive. Okay, so this is adhesive back snowflakes. These ones will stay put, so these ones won't shake, but it'll just give a nice little visual for when it does shake, that those stay still. And then, oops, I'm going to pour in the remaining of my snowflake sequins. I would normally put more than this, but forgot to order them. These were from last year. And now we release the release paper off our front. What kind of little sections you cut, more work there is to release. Make sure you've got it all. It's all sticky. Is that the way I wanted it? That. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. And try to keep the sequins in the middle, and then place this on top. And I'm just trying to line it up before I fully place it down. And press. And now we have our shaker card. As I said, I ideally would prefer to have a few extra snowflakes in there. But you can still see that it shakes. It's all good. And now to add our sentiment, which I think will go beautifully right there. I was going to add snowflakes, but I don't know if it really needs it. I think it's good just as. Did some die cutting. I've got all these snowflakes. Look at this. I've got a bowl full of snowflakes. Actually, it won't look bad with some snowflakes as well. Let's add some snowflakes. This is the balmy blue glimmer paper. Cut these in 3 different sizes. So 1, 2, 3. I like that. I'm going to add those on, and I like that they're coming off the edge. If that bothers you, you could trim them to the edge, or you could not add them. And I'm going to use a glue dot. What I'm going to do is put the glue dot on the larger bits. If you put the glue dot in the middle of those snowflakes, it will kind of show up. There we go. And just to finish it all off, a few more of these adhesive backed sequins. So these ones are awesome that I don't have to fiddle with glue or anything. They've got a tiny little what do we call it? Got a tiny little glue dot on the back. And there we go. Our shaker card. Snowflake shaker card, to be exact. Because who doesn't want a snowflake shaker card? And let's just stamp the envelope. You love it? Awesome. Thanks, Kathy and Megan. I'm actually quite pleased that I managed to use that piece of window sheet, and so that I'm not wasting others. So what I'm going to do is use the same 3 snowflakes I used on the inside of the card onto my envelope flap here. And simple does it. And you can shake it in, and you see, because I added those adhesive back sequins into the shaker card, some of the loose sequins is now attaching itself to it, and you'll see that some of the sequins has kind of attached itself to the foam sheets there. But because I kept the foam sheets quite close to the opening, it's all good. It kind of adds that. So when it's all shaked down, we've still got those ones around. Though personally, I would have added more snowflake sequins if I could have. But all good. So that is that. Hope I have inspired you to go out and be creative. I do have a customer loyalty program. So for every $50 you spend in my online store using the current host code, which is right here, you will collect a sticker and collect 10 stickers, and you will get $50 worth of products from me as a thank you gift sent directly to you. And what else should I say? Housekeeping, I have been sugar-free. I have not cheated, so if you feel like sponsoring me so that I can help kids with muscular dystrophy, the link is in the video, and I really appreciate your help and support on that. And everyone who donates to that, however big or small, even if it's just $5, I will send you a thank you card using some sweet treat kind of themed card in October. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week and day, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.